Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited increases pump price of petrol by 15%. Our correspondent gives an update. Senate urges states to comply fully with local government autonomy. And House of Representatives deliberate on enhancing security across the country. Welcome to the late evening news at 11 on Nta News24. We are live in Abuja. I am Nta News. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, and other oil companies have increased the price of petrol, with prices depending on petrol stations. For NNPC Limited, it is from 855 naira per litre to 998 naira per litre in Lagos. The increase in the price of petrol was first noticed at pumps at the NNPCL depots in Lagos State. Lyia Samson has an overview.
The price increase is not unconnected to the fact that the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited ended its exclusive purchase agreement with Dangote Refinery, thereby opening up the market for other marketers to buy petrol directly from the refinery. While this means NNPC will no longer be the sole off-taker and marketers can now negotiate prices directly with Dangote Refinery, the implication of this is that petrol will now sell at a cost-reflective price, meaning Nigerians will have to pay more. The last pricing template released by the NNPC Limited September 15 showed that the product was selling in its outlets at 980 per litre in Lagos and 1,010 naira per litre in Maiduguri and other northeastern states. Now, the price in Abuja is 1,030 naira per litre, Lagos 998 naira per litre, other southwest states 1,025 naira per litre, southeast 1,045 naira per litre, south-south 1,075 naira per litre, and northeast 1,070 naira per litre. The prices are higher at outlets belonging to major and independent marketers. Meanwhile, this new development, difficult as it is, aligns with the current practices for fully deregulated products, where refineries can sell directly to marketers on a willing buyer, willing seller basis, which is the current practice for all fully deregulated products such as diesel, aviation fuel, and kerosene. In Abuja, Lyia Samson, Nta News.
Reacting to the petrol price hike, our energy correspondent Lyia Samson gave an insight on the development. Here is the excerpt from the news desk at 6.
Well, is there any plausible explanation for this latest increase? What are the officials saying?
I must begin with an apology, Dennis. I'm not here with good news, and that is perhaps why the officials are not talking at all. And what obtains in a fully deregulated market is such that people don't talk, the officials don't talk. You just go to a gas station or a petrol station and you see a price increase because it's fully deregulated. And over time in Nigeria, we've been politically aligned to talking about these things. But now in a fully deregulated setup, what happens is nobody's saying anything. And even I genuinely want to apologize because it's impacting everybody. And going forward, without being an alarmist, then it's perhaps going to be worse before it gets better. But definitely it will get better. But that is what obtains in the market that reflects price. People will want to buy and also sell and make profit. That is what is happening now. But no official is saying anything.
All right, certainly ominous signs there. NNPC was to have exclusive purchase agreements with Dangote. Why was this discontinued?
Well, perhaps, when it started, there was a lot of misunderstanding. Many people were like, oh, NNPC has been the bane, the reason why we've been having challenges. Why will they be the only off-takers? But government was doing it deliberately to cushion this impact that we're seeing now. But unfortunately, because of the outcry there, perhaps, I believe, government said, okay, let it be a free market. And now it's a free market, meaning if you have a petrol station, Dennis, and I have a petrol station, we just go to Dangote and negotiate price. And our selling margin will depend on how much we got the product and the profit we want to make, because nobody wants to run business and lose.
All right, so what would be the implications then with other marketers buying from Dangote?
It's first going to be a very terrible news. Let me not use that word terrible so that I don't scare people, but I'm trying to be as honest as possible. But it's going to really go up before it comes down. But being an open market, it's going to be highly competitive. You understand? If I'm able to negotiate with Dangote, for instance, if I'm an oil marketer and I got a good deal, it will be the right thing for me. The moral thing for me to do is to bring down my price. And many people will be looking for cheaper outlets to go and get their petrol. I had an experience once when we traveled, and I noticed one of the cars that was taking us to the venue of our assignments will always leave the gas station close to the hotel and go very far. And I asked, why do you do that? He said, it's fully deregulated here, and that place you're staying is expensive. So they'll prefer to travel a distance, get a good deal. And the more the good deals are where they are located, motorists will get to know. So you see some stations will be empty, while some will be flooded, because everybody wants to get a good deal. And painful as it is the painful reality.
All right, and just lastly, Lydia, any hope for reprieve in terms of price stabilizing just a little above the 1,000 naira mark?
Yes, hope is the only thing that keeps us all alive. So we wouldn't say there wouldn't be hope, but it's not an immediate kind of hope. I always like to give an example with when this online telephone services began. I don't know about you, but I remember a time me and my husband were in Maiduguri then. We couldn't buy 2 lines. We bought just one because of the high exorbitant rate. But today you can get a SIM for 200 naira. So over time, that is what, God willing, we'll see in petrol. And with the alternative energy mix also, it will not only be petrol, we'll have other alternatives. And the more people are diversifying their energy mix, the more those who want to sell petrol too high, perhaps will be on their own.
All right. Okay. Lyia Samson, our energy correspondent, thank you for taking the time to talk to us and giving us that honest assessment of the current situation. Thank you, Lydia.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Senate has resolved to alter relevant sections of the Constitution to ensure full financial and administrative autonomy to local government areas in Nigeria. It also urges states and local governments to fully comply with the judgment of the Supreme Court on disbursement and utilization of funds accruing to local government areas. The legislators adopted these resolutions following a motion from Senator Tony Nwoye, which alleged that some state governors are planning to use state assemblies to circumvent the judgment of the Supreme Court on financial autonomy for local government areas.
Resolutions were read and adopted.
All states and local governments to fully comply with the recent Supreme Court judgment.
Will alter any aspect of our Constitution, amend any section of our laws to ensure full autonomy to the local government administrations in this country, so that it will be recognized fully in action and in fact as a third tier of government of the Federation.
In another motion from Senator Ireti Kingibe, Senate urged the federal government and other stakeholders to address the challenges of the girl child in Nigeria.
The continued marginalization of the Nigerian girl child threatens the future development of the country, and it deprives half the population of their right to education, health, economic empowerment.
Justice delayed is justice denied. This was re-echoed in the House of Representatives, where lawmakers are calling for an efficient justice delivery system that works for all Nigerians. This resolution of the House followed the motion on the floor seeking public hearings towards addressing perceived delay in justice delivery in the country. National Assembly correspondent Nta News24 reports.
The judiciary is said to be the hope of the common man, providing a platform for marginalized voices to be heard and relief against oppression. Lawmakers at plenary call attention to the need to boost and not erode public confidence on the nation's judiciary.
In some states of the Federation, cases at the High Court, which by their nature ought to be dispensed with within months, last between 4 to 5 years before judgment is delivered.
Of the number of persons in our correctional facilities, I can say that over 60 to 70% are people who are awaiting trial. The public hearing of the Constitution Review should prioritize this issue that have been deliberated firmly by the House.
To address food crisis in the country, the House advocates implementation of the Export Prohibition Act to ensure food availability and reduce cost of living for Nigerians.
The failure to implement the said legislation over time has led to severe food shortages, high food prices, increased food insecurity, and the loss of revenue for farmers and the federal government.
Lawmakers frowned at incessant cases of building collapse in the country.
We are concerned about these challenges as it affects us as a nation. My prayer is to mandate the Ministry of Works Committee to ascertain the causes and report back to the House within 4 weeks for further legislative action.
The new American ambassador to Nigeria, Richard Mills, was the guest of Speaker Tajuddin Abbas. They called for stronger ties between Nigeria and the United States.
More deeper cooperations, more mutually beneficial relationship. I have no doubt in my mind you are the right man coming at the right moment.
I really very much in my first months here wanted to have a chance to talk to the Speaker about his priorities, about the priorities of the House.
The Speaker assured the envoy of the support of Nigeria's legislature in his assignment. From the National Assembly, Nta News24, Nta News.
And in the wake of security challenges in Nigeria, a beacon of hope flickers in the halls of the National Assembly as experts converged for dispassionate discussions on national security. The House of Representatives Committee on Internal Security convened a two-day workshop exploring the theme Managing Security and the Security Challenges in Nigeria, with citizens' involvement as key. Ignatius Nkwo reports.
Stood solemn as minds converged to address a crisis that dares the nation in the face. With the drumbeat of insecurity receiving more resistance, this workshop could not be more timely. For 2 days, the House of Representatives Committee on Internal Security, in partnership with MW&J Consulting, will immerse itself in deep reflection, asking one vital question: how to uproot the various sources of insecurity in Nigeria.
Several initiatives and efforts like border control and identity management have been made in the past. However, tackling these issues has become difficult due to socio-economic and political interest laden with ethno-religious undertones.
The discussions unfolded not just as words, but as a call to action. Participants were eager for solutions to the disturbing threat of insecurity along the streets, homes, and the very fabric of the Nigerian society. Yet, within these walls, a sense of purpose fills the air as security experts and stakeholders seek to arrest the situation.
In many cases, security personnel assigned to deal with given security situation lack the expertise, and most of the time they don't have the equipment to handle the situation.
Our armed forces of Nigeria is doing wonderfully well based on the available resources to them.
As the sun sets on the first day of the workshop, the road to success remains clear, with renewed commitment to chart a course for a safer Nigeria. Ignatius Nkwo, Nta News.
Let's take a break now. More reports shortly.
My administration took over leadership of our country 16 months ago at a critical juncture. The economy faced many headwinds, and our physical security highly impaired. We found ourselves at a decent crossroad where we must choose between two paths: reform for progress and prosperity, or carry on the business as usual and collapse. We decided to reform our political economy and defense architecture.
Cybercrime is a threat that requires collective response. It is therefore essential for everyone to be aware of this evolving threat. These are the views of Inspector General of Police delivered by DIG Bala Chiroma at the 2024 Cybersecurity Awareness Campaign in Abuja. Francis Fom reports.
It is a gathering of stakeholders in the cybersecurity and private sector brought together by the Nigeria Police Force National Cybercrime Center in commemoration of the 2024 Cybersecurity Awareness Campaign Week to share knowledge, expertise, and experience to counter the growing threats of cybersecurity in the country.
Over the past years, we have enhanced our investigative capabilities, invested in advanced technologies such that the MPF NCCC has evolved into a national entity, becoming the central hub for addressing cyber-enabled crimes.
In an era dominated by digital economy and technology, securing cyberspace is now an inseparable from securing the physical world.
Your collaboration and support are essential to ensure that our national cybersecurity strategy is comprehensive and, of course, effective.
No one agency can fight this menace because it's a whole there, because we see thousands and thousands of cases.
With the theme, Secure Our World, the 2024 Cybersecurity Awareness Campaign Week hoped to build a secure digital environment where Nigeria is prepared to meet the challenges of the future. Francis from Nta News.
The Minister of Interior, Olububi Tunji-Ojo, has assured of the federal government's commitment to holistic reforms in the correctional service. The minister made the commitment at the official launch of the report on the national assessment of the situation of children and young adults deprived of liberty in Abuja. In a statement, Tunji-Ojo says the Nigerian Correctional Service Act of 2019 mandates that issues on juvenile delinquency be addressed through reforms, rehabilitation, and integration of offenders into the society. He decries the high number of correctional centers across the country compared to the number of inmates. On the issue of Bobrisky, the minister assures that the committee's report will be ready next week and there will be no sacred cow. The Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps has stated its commitment to deal with those perpetrating acts of sabotage against the nation's economy. A statement by the national spokesperson of the Corps, Baba Wale Afolabi, quoted the commander of the Special Intelligence Squad, NSCDC, Apollos Dandaura, as saying that those dealing illegally in petroleum products, vandalizing oil pipelines, siphoning crude, and operating illegal refineries will be smoked out of their hiding places. He hinted that the recent discovery was hinged on a tip-off that the suspects punctured a major delivery trunk line that supplies crude to Komkom community in Oyigbo local government area of Rivers State to siphon crude oil. He says the cause under the leadership of Dr. Ahmed Abubakar of the MNI is determined to keep the pipelines safe. The youth-led electoral reform project, championed by an election observer group, Impact Development Initiative, has urged the National Assembly to prioritize constitutional and electoral reforms. Timothy Yusuf reports that the call for reform comes amid mixed feelings with Nigeria's electoral process in some recent elections.
Begins incredible elections towards fostering good governance and meeting the developmental needs of Nigerians informed this gathering, which resulted in a nationwide survey by Impact Development Initiative, revealing that 57% of over 4,300 youth participants were dissatisfied with the electoral process in the 2023 elections. 94% agreed that urgent reforms are essential to restore more public trust in Nigeria's democracy.
Oftentimes, we see the negative stereotypes that young persons are involved in violence, but now the young persons are saying, no, we also need accountability in this process so that we do not subscribe to the generic statement that young persons are the one fomenting trouble. Young persons are saying, conclude all post-election disputes before inauguration to ensure stability and fairness. That is the second recommendation from the young persons in Nigeria.
The youth-led electoral reform project campaign, supported by the National Democratic Institute and the National Endowment for Democracy, has engaged more than 400 youth leaders, political party representatives, entrepreneurs, social and cultural group members, out of which 87 recommendations were consolidated into 5 key electoral reform priorities. Timothy Yusuf, Nta News.
Transforming Nigeria's justice system and addressing the challenges faced by children in conflict with the law remains a critical issue that demands urgent attention. With countless children and young adults incarcerated in correctional facilities nationwide, experts are calling for a rethink of the approach to juvenile justice. Vivian Eza DFA, who witnessed the unveiling of an assessment of the situation of children and young adults deprived of liberty in Nigeria, reports.
It is believed that a child-sensitive justice system that emphasizes prevention and rehabilitation is crucial to reducing juvenile incarceration. Stakeholders are advocating for alternative solutions that prioritize the well-being of young people over imprisonment.
Aware by Legal Aid Act 2011 to provide free and qualitative legal services to indigent Nigerians.
The event is important and also strategic as it aims at improving the juvenile justice system as well as criminal justice as a whole.
The figure in this report represents a child whose life is at risk of being defined by punishment instead of opportunity and support for reintegration.
The federal government has long recognized the importance of prioritizing the well-being and welfare of our children. This commitment led to the promulgation of the Child Rights Act of 2003.
The Minister of Interior recently unveiled an assessment of the situation of children and young adults deprived of liberty in Nigeria, highlighting the conditions in correctional facilities. This has led to a renewed commitment to reforming the correctional system.
As Minister of Interior, if I come here and tell you I'm comfortable with what's happening in the correctional service, I'll be the greatest liar. Take this to the bank. We will reform the Nigerian correctional service.
While we need the institutions, we also need the openness from the communities.
By focusing on counseling, vocational training, and community-based programs, Nigeria aims to build a justice system that not only holds children accountable, but also provides them with opportunities for a brighter and more hopeful future. Vivian Izadifi.
Nta News.
And that concludes the late evening news at 11 on Nta News24. Thank you for watching. I am Nta Daniels.